And it's up to 6 once more.
They certainly were looking to
Back
get
in
it
the day, they didn't
that
really take that many three-point shots.
Fell off and gave Banks the shot.
Bird with 2 straight, misses that shot. Banks has the rebound. Forcing the action. The Bulls running a lot more than they had. They didn't run at all, really, in game 1. Macy controlling, guarded by Seaster. Here's Woolridge. And in there is Sidney Green on the weak side. Jordan remains on the bench, shaking his head, and the Chicago.
Let's get it. We back. Got the 1986 NBA playoffs, round 1, game 2. Chicago Bulls versus Boston Celtics. I hear about these games all the time. I always wondered who really did better, Michael Jordan or Larry Bird. So we about to check this game out. Now, unfortunately, you guys, this game is 2 hours and 23 minutes long. So we're not going to get through this whole video today. So if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, and turn the notification bell on so you don't miss part 2 or part 3. It's probably going to be just 3 parts. I'm probably going to do 45 minutes today, tomorrow, on the next day. You know, a 3-part journey. But we're going to get as much as we can in today for sure. And like I said, hey, drop a like, subscribe, turn the notification bells on. If you want to check out any of the other videos that we got already watched, please go to the channel, look at the playlist. We just got done doing the whole Magic Johnson and Larry Bird documentary. We did a Larry Bird documentary. And we're going to get off into some Michael Jordan here in a couple of weeks. Here in a couple of days, actually. But for the most part, let's get to this video because it is already going to be a long journey. And I don't want to talk y'all heads off and hear y'all here too long. Hey, listen. You got to take a restroom break. I understand. I might even have to take one. Nah, I'm messing with y'all. But let's get it, though.
For the Boston Celtics, it has been the kind of year teams dream about. Nightly clinics on how the game should be played. The architect, Larry Bird, arguably the NBA's best all-round performer. But Bird's 30 points took a backseat to the clutch second-half shooting of Dennis Johnson in the Celtics' first game playoff victory.
The way they starting off this show, they're like it's
Jordan of the Chicago Bulls put on a memorable individual display in the opening game of the series. Virtually every move Jordan made proved successful. No matter who the Celtics tried, Jordan had the answer. A supreme effort that translated into 49 brilliant points. But when it ended, Michael Jordan and the Bulls came up short. Today is game 2. Again, it's Bird and Jordan, 2 great stars of the NBA. Square off in Boston, the backdrop, as the Celtics and the Bulls go at it once more in the playoffs.
Take a trip out there.
It is the first week of the NBA playoffs, and this is game 2 of the best-of-5 first-round action, and the Celtics will try to make it 2 in a row over the Bulls before the 262nd consecutive sellout in Boston Garden. Looking at the Eastern Conference playoff fight, Atlanta already has a 2-0 lead. Milwaukee will try for 2 in a row against New Jersey later today, and Philadelphia will try to rebound from a stunning loss to Washington on Friday night. And hello again, everyone. I'm Dick Stockton, and welcome to the NBA on CBS. Well, the Boston Celtics won more games than anyone this year in the league. They had the biggest winning streak at 14.
We're probably not about to
they have
sit
won
and
more
watch
championships,
all
as everyone knows, at 15. But perhaps the most impressive
to get involved. Michael Jordan scored half their points in the first half on the other night, and they end up 2 points down. That's astounding. But it's too draining an experience, and they must put pressure on the other Celtic defenders by getting the likes of Dave Corazine, Kyle Macy involved, as well as Orlando Woolridge.
All right, so that's the story right here, and Pat O'Brien is with the man who lit up the place, Michael Jordan.
Thank you, Dick. Michael just got a nice round of applause here. The question is, can one man beat the Lakers, or do you need a more diversified attack today?
Well, we're playing the Boston Celtics, Pat, but I think it's going to be more of a 5-man game, and we really have to play a complete basketball game. I don't think one man can beat the Boston Celtics.
It's hard to imagine that 6 weeks ago you were sitting on the bench.
Yes, it is. It's very hard for me to imagine. I'm very happy I'm playing now, and I'm very happy that I can contribute to the team.
right, thank you. Good luck today. You don't have to remind me again that you are playing the Boston Celtics. Air Jordan's getting ready to take off. The problem is the runway is in Boston, so strap yourselves in. This is the NBA on CBS.
Yeah, you already messing up. We ain't playing again.
The starting lineups for Game 2 are the same as they were for Game number 1. Starting out with the Chicago Bulls. Their leading scorer, Orlando Woolridge, up front. Top rebounder, rookie Charles Oakley, and veteran Dave Corzine. In the backcourt, Michael Jordan and Kyle Macy, playmaker, and Stan Albeck in his first year as coach of Chicago. For the Boston Celtics, their front court of Kevin McHale, Larry Bird, and Robert Parrish, all amongst the league leaders in scoring and shooting. And in the backcourt, Dennis Johnson, the catalyst on defense, Danny Ainge, Casey Jones, another marvelous job as coach of the Celtics. Jake O'Donnell and Jack Middleton are the officials, and Jack Neves will be the alternate. And we're underway here. The Celtics in white, the Bulls in red, and Boston controls. Dennis Johnson will check the matchups, guarded by Jordan inside McHale, and McHale gets a quick hoop inside.
Stan Albeck hoping that their center, Dave Corzine, will be able to muscle Kevin McHale, take his inside game away from him.
But the Celtics have a definite size advantage over the Chicago Bulls, who may be a little quicker, but they prefer not to run. At least they didn't in the first game. Jordan misses, and McHale gets the rebound. Danny Ainge had a fine year. Larry Bird, guarded by Woolridge. And Corzine gets the rebound for Chicago. Amazingly, in the regular season, in the season series, the Bulls had an edge in offensive rebounding over the Celtics. Not many teams can claim that.
Oakley and Sidney Green, two real quick board bangers.
Green starts in off the bench. Parrish blocks, and they're going to call goaltending against Robert Parrish and credit Michael Jordan. So it looks already as if the Celtics are going to give a lot of help to Michael Jordan.
The first defense against Michael Jordan is Dennis Johnson. He's got to try and keep him out of the middle and angle him off the hoop a little bit.
They tried 5 different players on Jordan. Ultimately, he got a bit fatigued. Not before 49 points, however. Dennis Johnson with 7 in a row.
That's a good shot.
In the third period, misses here.
One of the things I was looking for early, Dick, is the tempo of the game by the Bulls to try and get some fast break opportunities.
Wow.
Jordan found his way in once again and has his second basket.
He's just
All
floating
4
to the
points in
rim.
A minute and a half has transpired. McHale guarded by Corzine. Toughest matchup in the league, maybe.
Oh, good bucket.
Corzine does not have the foot speed to stay with McHale, who gives power forwards, much quicker players, a lot of problems.
Last year he was the 6th man until the playoffs. Cedric Maxwell gone from the scene with the Clippers, and so McHale was the starter this year. Nearly 2 minutes elapsed. Corzine, good pass from Jordan.
Good block.
With a block shot. Good pass, but Parrish was there.
That was an attempt to get Corzine involved.
Good corner.
Parrish guarded by Oakley, and a big size edge there. Goes up, and Corzine with a fine play just stuffed Parrish. And Chicago coming back in a tie game. Jordan with a move on Johnson, blocked by McHale.
Good
and already
block.
you see
McHale got one block, 4 points.
Stan Albeck sees 2 and trying to help Dennis Johnson guard Michael
And
Jordan.
they got 4 points.
They get by. If Michael Jordan gets by Dennis Johnson, the other Celtics are going to clog up the lane, it looks like.
What should Jordan do in that case?
Look, either put it off the glass and hope that one of his freer players can get an offensive rebound.
He got all 6 of 8 points.
Make a direct pass to one of those free players.
Bird, good position inside. Gets it out to Ainge. McHale again. McHale with another basket. McHale has 6, and Jordan has 6. And they're tied with those numbers.
Corzine, with all his beef, is still letting Kevin McHale get the sweet position down and close to the hoop.
Nearly 3 minutes gone by, opening period, and we're tied. Orlando Woolridge, long range. Woolridge scored 37 points and had a tremendous game in the one game the Bulls beat the Celtics in the regular year.
They did it with fast break.
Okay then, Pierce.
And I think that's where Orlando is at his best, out on the open court. In the first game, the Bulls did not use that speed advantage at all.
Parrish scored after McHale's miss. Celtics known for getting the ball down court in a hurry in a lot of ways. Jordan short there. Inside Oakley fights his way. Tipped up and finally drops in. May have been Corzine, and it was. And we'll have a foul against Chicago. Dave Corzine commits the foul.
Well, Corzine, an attempt right here as trying to take away position, but you can't let Kevin McHale get that close to the hoop.
McHale misses the shot. And here's Jordan over to Woolridge. Woolridge averaged 29 against the Celtics this season. McHale the rebound out to Ainge. Chicago getting back defensively.
He had a great inside position.
Ooh, he tried to get him with that skill.
Ainge throws the ball into the third row. And Casey Jones, who has won 60 or more games 4 times. Both teams shooting well in the opening moments. 8:07 on the clock. Chicago by 2. McHale finds Parrish, and Oakley fouls him. What can you do realistically, Tommy, when you have a 6'9" Oakley and a Corzine who's 6'11", but not a big 6'11", against the likes of McHale, Parrish, and later on Walton?
What they're trying to do, Stan Albeck, is put experience against Kevin McHale and Dave Corzine, knowing that the Celtics don't like to use Parrish. He's their second low post option, hoping that the Celtics won't use that against Oakley to take advantage of his inexperience.
Here's Parrish, who symbolized the size edge with a 14 rebound average against the Bulls in the 6 games during the regular year.
He can make free throws. That's 7 foot tall.
Parrish against Oakley is their saber matchup. Whenever they really have some problems, they may go to that one.
We're tied at 10. Game has been tied 5 times. Corzine moving outside, Bird guarding him, if you want to call it that. Bird does not like to guard someone. The basket counts, and a good play and a slice move in there by Orlando Woolridge.
Interesting matchup stick by Casey Jones. Bird is guarding Corzine, and McHale takes Woolridge. Normally you would expect Bird to take Woolridge, but Casey feels McHale, the bigger player, will be able to do a better job, take away the speed of Woolridge.
McHale with the personal foul, and a 3-point play by Orlando Woolridge. And Chicago leads 13-10. Parrish up against Oakley. Out of bounds. Chicago ball. Of course, Larry Bird, as you pointed out many times in the past, is probably one of the best safety men. A good team defender, not perhaps individual defender. So the last thing Casey wants to do is to have Bird guard one of the firepower men for Chicago.
It's too much of a burden for Bird, and it's a smart adjustment by Casey Jones, in my opinion.
Oakley hits
They
from
dropping
outside.
buckets.
So 4 of the starting 5 have scored for the Chicago Bulls. So they have
wonder when Bird gonna get hot.
spread the sugar around a little bit. Dennis Johnson misses, gets his own rebound, and try to get it over to Larry Bird, and Oakley may be called for his 2nd personal foul. What a year and a strong finish for the 9th pick, Charles Oakley.
He's going to be a bona fide star in this league if he isn't already. He's got some things to learn, like how to get that shot off in the low post, but boy, does he bang on the boards.
Actually drafted by Cleveland and then traded to Chicago in the deal involving Keith Lee, the rookie from Memphis State. Came from Virginia Union. A year later is playing at Boston Garden in the NBA playoffs.
Celtics starting off not running as well, just like the other night.
Feed to Ainge. Dennis Johnson.
Okay. Ball movement.
Walton insisting on the Celtic bench. Maybe the key reasons why the Celtics have had such a great year, and good passing by Boston. And it's 15-12. Of course, the Bulls are getting back defensively. Stop that break.
When the Celtics put the pressure on the defense by pushing it up fast, that's when they're at their best, both for layups and low post play.
8 on the shot clock. Oakley hit 1, fakes Parrish, goes in strong, and gets the basket. Charles Oakley is 6'9", leading rebounder for the Bulls this year.
Drop a light for the Bulls, man. They out there looking good.
Has to be complete by now.
The only man who hasn't scored in the starting group has been Kyle Macy. Ainge goes for 3 and nearly had it. Spun out. Rebound by Oakley. Chicago had a 12-point lead in the first half of the game against the Celtics Thursday. Jordan trying to fake Bird, can't do it. Hits the jumper, but Bird played pretty well defensively.
Okay, MJ.
You got to hang on Jordan's shooting hand. Most players try to force him to his left and make him bring the ball to you.
Biggest lead of the game. 7 points for the Bulls. Under 6 minutes to go. Bird. McHale. Parrish.
Whoa, with the big slammer team.
McHale made the big play, though.
When the Celtics bang on the boards and they're perfectly capable of getting those offensive rebounds, that's when they're doubly difficult.
McHale out to guard Woolridge in the lane. Tough shot, tough defense by McHale. Bird the rebound, and the Celtics trailing by 5 with 5:25 remaining in the first period, and Oakley intercepts that pass. Bird and Johnson back defensively. Oakley goes in, and they're going to call offensive foul. Bird, one of the great anticipators on defense, knew what Oakley was going to do there and got position.
The master of the half-inch got him for the charge.
And 3 fouls on Oakley, and he'll come out of the ball game when we return. The Houston Rockets let Sacramento get back in the game last night and ended up winning to take a 2-0 lead in that series. Robert Reed, 29 points. He's been starting in the backcourt. The Lakers, with another blowout over San Antonio, have a 2-0 lead. Magic Johnson
30
with a superb
points.
game.
Wow.
Atlanta, 2-0 over Detroit, winning for the second straight time on their home court. Dominique Wilkins, 50 points.
50 points.
When was the last time you ever saw a 5'5" player, talking about Spud Webb, called for goaltending? And here's what happened in the waning seconds of the game. Spud Webb, the slam dunk champion, called for goaltending, and the Atlanta Hawks have a 2-0 lead, and a pretty good all-around game for Spud Webb as well.
Man, we got to do a video on Spud Webb, man. We got to do a video on Spud Webb and Muggsy Bogues, man, just so we can inspire some more short people to keep pursuing their dreams in the NBA. Because as of right now, it looks like the NBA, as of right now, the NBA has been leaning towards guards that are big, 6'5", 6'4", 6'3".
We're going to see some good offensive rebounding by the Celtics. Bird gets free there, but the shot left is no good. But watch McHale come along that baseline and just outposition Corzine. And then they hang tough. Parrish, Oakley turned them loose. And the Celtics are smart enough that if you don't block them out, they'll keep coming on the glass.
Yes, sir.
Sidney Green has come into the ball game for the Chicago Bulls, replacing Charles Oakley, who's gone out with 3 personal fouls. Green was having a banner year and then went into a slump, has had tendonitis on the knee, and from what was the MVP of the Bulls at midseason, according to Allbeck, has been struggling lately.
I think they need a big game from Sidney Green.
He'll be guarding Robert Parrish. Green plays him well, and Woolridge gets the rebound. Green would not let Parrish go baseline. And now the Chicago Bulls with the ball and a 5-point lead.
Sid Green's got the speed and the mobility to give Parrish problems.
And he can hit outside, too, if you need that. Kyle Macy looking inside. There's Sidney Green. Loose ball, and Danny Ainge, scrappy as he is, comes down with it with 4.5 minutes to play. Larry Bird goes for a 3-pointer. Johnson is there, and Dennis Johnson goes up. McHale knocks it away, and it's Chicago ball. Dennis Johnson can't believe he wasn't fouled on that play.
Gives some good looks, doesn't he?
Larry Bird, by the way, is 0 for 3 shooting and has not scored yet.
Yep.
Michael Jordan has 8 points and is the game-high scorer. Going baseline. Michael Jordan, the basket good and a foul. Fantastic quickness going to the baseline.
They sure got and sent him to his left. Watch him come to his left. Dennis Johnson saying, you can have the baseline. They're hoping that Parrish will be able to get in there and at least intimidate him, but he didn't move quick enough.
Bill Walton is making an early entrance, and Parrish, who committed the personal foul, goes out of the ball game. But here's Bill Walton, a very key acquisition for the Celtics at 33 years of age, from the LA Clippers for Cedric Maxwell. Comes into the ball game with 4:15 now remaining in the first period.
This lead by the Bulls is a much more solid lead today than it was in the previous ball game.
Bird can convert on a good feed from Walton. Walton's one of the best big men passers in the game. Good defender and rebound. But meanwhile, Chicago can open it up to a 10-point lead if they can score here. Corzine against Bird, takes it inside. McHale on the rebound as Green fails on the tip-in.
Celtics defense is giving up an awful lot of easy shots to the Bulls.
They're forced to play more one-on-one defense, though, in this game than they were in the open.
They have a good advantage. Corzine being guarded by Bird in the low post.
Still Boston ball. They didn't score, but a good pass here with Walton the key.
Boy, you're going to see him cut to the hoop. Little push by Bird, loses his man. Wide open now, but tough shot, tough angle to get the shot off.
Celtics turn it over again, and they're ragged right now in the opening moments. 3:31 to go
right
in the
now.
first
no,
period.
I mean,
the Washington Bullets
right
have an early lead over the Philadelphia 76ers, who are playing again without Moses Malone. We'll keep you posted on that game. Jordan goes up, ball slapped away, but Jordan winds up with it and draws the foul.
And get two Shuma.
Playing Michael Jordan one-on-one is, for a guy like Dennis Johnson, who's a great defensive player, it's very difficult because Jordan's got the speed advantage, the quick step, and he can go right, left, or over you. And Dennis Johnson that time tried to force him to his left, left just a little bit too much room for him to get to the hoop.
Walton committed the foul, his first, and here's Michael Jordan, Rookie of the Year last year, and led his team in virtually every category, including rebound. And a 10-point lead for the Chicago Bulls. And the crowd getting a bit antsy here. They're not used to the Celtics trailing.
There's no pace to the game for the Celtics. The Bulls have got them in dance tempo.
Knocked away.
Dennis, what
Jordan
you doing, man?
to Woolridge. Ainge is back. Woolridge goes up, and they're going to foul.
Good foul.
The only thing Danny Ainge could do. And it'll be a two-shot
Dennis forcing
foul.
them passes.
The Celtics with the turnovers. Unlikely for that team against Chicago. Foul was on Ainge, and Orlando Woolridge will go to the line and shoot a pair.
Well, that was off a steal. By getting him out on the wing, they have a speed advantage there for a fast break basketball. Bird, he's guarding Bird, and by the time McHale gets up to get him, he could be well up the court if they push the ball up the floor of the Bulls.
Right.
Woolridge in his 5th year. Scored 25 points in the first game, but didn't get underway much early. Right now he has 6 points. 1 out of 2 for Woolridge. It's 25-14. The Bulls by 11. Under 3 minutes to play in the opening period. Johnson is open.
Hey, that's what I'm
Dennis
talking about
Johnson.
right there.
Celtics have to hit some of those outside shots to open up the inside game
Yes,
for
sir.
McHale and Walton and Bird.
Bird has not scored yet. Woolridge outside hits.
Wow.
8 points
They
now
giving
for
Boston
Orlando Woolridge. First
clean,
time this
smooth
year he
bucket.
shot under 50% in his career.
Skip.
Open
Good
again is
skip.
Dennis Johnson. Jordan picks him up. Knocked
Oh,
away
my.
by Jordan. They're going to call the foul as Dennis
Oh,
Johnson
my.
hits the
Was that a
parquet
block?
as hard as you could want. And a timeout is called. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the opening period. The foul is on Sidney Green.
Was that a block?
Dennis Johnson.
Celtics have to hit some of those outside shots to open up the inside game for McHale and Walton and Bird.
Bird has not scored yet. Woolridge outside hits.
Good shot.
8 points now for Orlando Woolridge. First time this year he shot under 50% in his career.
You out of skipping, Jordan.
Open again is Dennis Johnson. Jordan picks him up. Knocked away
Jordan
by
beat
Jordan.
that.
They're gonna call the
He
foul
wasn't
as
playing.
Dennis Johnson hits the parquet as hard as you could want. And a timeout is called. 2 minutes and 20 seconds remaining in the opening period. The foul is on Sidney Green.
First thing the Celtics want to do is not let Michael Jordan get a direct line of penetration down the lane. They want to try and angle him off the hoop a little bit so that he doesn't have a decent shot to the basket. These two men are going to try and cut down on that penetration, even on the angle up. But you see what happens here. Jordan is so good. A little move, and quickly he gets by Dennis Johnson. There's Bird stepping in. He loses the ball, but the rest of them are able to pick it up off the floor. So you have to go out, stop him, and still worry about the big guys picking the ball off the glass.
One of the best scoring performances against the Celtics occurred in game 1 of this series. Boston won, however, 123-104, and keep in mind that the 104 points they allowed was exactly what their season's defensive average was. So they were not at all disturbed over that. They'll take it again. On the
I wanted
line
his
is
leg gonna
Dennis
shake.
Johnson.
Oh no, that's not top.
The Celtics have not
McHale.
played the pace game that they normally do. Push it at you, push it at you.
You gotta do
It's
laps tomorrow,
important
Dennis.
to the Celtics big men,
Why?
because if they can get up the court, the double teams do not develop that quick.
Why haven't they?
They're not pacing the ball up the floor.
other
They're
words,
walking
it's
it up or
just-
three-quarter speeding it up. They got to really make a concerted effort to push it hard at the defense.
Shooting so far in this game, Chicago 55%. One time they beat the Celtics, they shot over 50%. It was the only time they did against Boston. Going inside is Sidney Green. That's the kind of shot he has to take, even though that went off. And Walton gets the rebound. 2 minutes to go in the first period.
Sidney Green had a game here earlier in the year where he dominated the low post against the Celtics.
Under 2 minutes, 9 on the shot clock. They go into McHale, guarded by Corzine, and a good move in by Kevin McHale. 16th leading scorer in the league and the 5th best shooter in the NBA. And he hit 10 of 11 against the Bulls in game 1.
Wow. Kevin McHale's stats
Woolridge
good.
against McHale, gets a piece of it.
Oh, yeah, he's out.
Quickly back to McHale. Jordan picks up McHale and
Wow.
takes the ball away from him. That was a pickpocket move if there ever was one. And Jordan goes up, and the blocking foul against the Celtics. And the crowd won't agree.
Well, McHale has no business putting it on the floor against a quick player like Michael Jordan. A big guy dribbling, it's too high, easy for a smaller man to pick it off. And up he comes. Anytime he gets a chance to bring it up and get it into the painted area, it's going to cause problems for the Celtics.
We talked about Walton. Here's the other key man, Jerry Seasting. With Johnson coming out of the ball game, Seasting has given the Celtics that reliable outside shot. 57% shooter from the field. Jerry
Seasting, gotta check
formerly
him
of
out
the
too.
Indiana Pacers. There's Gene Banks into the ball game, a defensive stopper, and he just may be guarding Larry Bird, 6'8". Former San Antonio Spur. In fact, there are 4 former Spurs on the Chicago Bulls.
Gene Banks has really got his hands full, but he's got the intelligence to try and take that half-inch advantage that Bird counts on away from him.
1:18 to go. Bird against Banks. Short. Walton is there for the easy basket. The ball was there for someone to grab, and it was Bill Walton, who has 2 fouls and 2 points so far. Seasting is guarding Macy. I wouldn't be surprised if George Gervin comes in before long. Macy has not scored yet, the only starter for the Bulls. Corzine in and out. Walton the rebound. And now they're going to call the foul, and Banks and Bird look at each other, and it looks like Banks was hit.
22nd timeout.
There's some banging going on there. Corzine shot, but watch Bird now swing. Banks, and a little more swinging. Shall we dance?
No dance. We'll have a timeout. Larry Bird, who hit Gene Banks in the head, is called for his first personal foul. The Celtics have been over the limit, and that's what Larry Bird has done. 0 for 5 from the field at this point. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here at Boston Garden. We'll be hearing from Pat O'Brien later at the half. This is game 2 of our best of 5, first round. The NBA playoffs in the first weekend, and the Chicago Bulls lead the Boston Celtics 29-21 with 57 seconds to go in the first period. Keep in mind, the Bulls, playing, I guess, a different kind of game, also had a lead of 12 points early against the Celtics before they turned it on in game 1.
But the fact that they're all involved, Dick, is going to make them a lot more confident basketball team. This lead is a substantial lead as compared to the previous ball game where it was produced primarily by Jordan's good play.
They're looking at Larry Bird's right hand. And on the line is Gene Banks. Banks, along with Corzine, John Paxson, and George Gervin are all former San Antonio Spurs.
If it's that right index finger on Bird, that's going to really affect him. He had that broken finger, and it's caused him lots of shooting problems.
Mike Smrek, a rookie from Canisius in Buffalo, New York, comes into the ball game. He's a 7-footer. Banks misses 2 free throws, and Corzine goes out of the ball game. He scored 2 points.
And he had lots of good shooting opportunities that didn't pay off.
Scott Wedman comes in for Larry Bird, guarded by Banks. Seasting off the screen. They go low now to McHale. Over Sidney Green. Kevin McHale has 10 points. He's the leading scorer for the Celtics.
This is the unit that Casey Jones counts on to either produce a lead or create tempo.
This is the green team. And they didn't really have defined roles when the Celtics had their problems around Christmas.
They sure didn't. That was the Christmas massacre, but the
Jordan,
troops are back.
I mean, Jordan already
from the
pushing
corner,
what,
and now the Celtics
20-some
for the
points.
last shot, trailing by 8 points, 31-23.
Jordan about to drop like 60. This about to be crazy, yo.
It would be that time of year when the bench gels. And that'll be a Chicago foul, and will put them in the penalty, and the Celtics will go shoot 2. Larry Bird being 10-2 now by Ray Melchiori.
I don't know what finger it is, Dick, but, you know, he broke that index finger playing softball his senior year in college, and it's troublesome enough for him to shoot. It's amazing to me that he shoots so well from the outside with that finger. It looks like a crooked road with a detour.
Sidney Green with a second foul. As long as that crooked road leads to the NBA Finals, that's all Larry Bird's concerned with. By the way, Bird finally did rid himself of those back and elbow problems this year. He started out shooting well under 45% and then got hot in the latter stages of the year. McHale's free throws, 31-25, 6 seconds to go. Banks has Walton on his back. Macy's shot at the buzzer is good. The basket counts, and the Chicago Bulls, who lost 52 games this year, have taken a 33-25 lead. And Larry Bird has yet to score a point in Game 2 of this best-of-5 series.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Chicago has an 8-point lead as we start the second period, but this was a key play as far as Larry Bird and the Celtics go.
Well, that's the penalty you pay Larry Bird as a team defender. Good pick, and Bird tries to fight his way through, and doing that hurts his hand, and you can see already he's looking at that right hand, and it ended up his last 2 fingers. Now he gets a little angry and goes at Banks, which I don't think was quite fair, because Banks was really played good offense that time. Now you see
no, get off my dog Bird like that.
Fingers.
Smaller tape. I think Ray Melchiori put smaller tape on those last 2 fingers.
But look at that index finger. He's got a bump on that index finger. Looks like Mount Everest.
Bird was 0 for 5 shooting in the first period and did not score. Keep in mind that Bird was the only player in the NBA this year to finish in the top 10 in 5 of the 8 categories, and heading perhaps for his 3rd consecutive MVP award. Meanwhile, we start the second period and the Bulls lead by 8.
You know, on that injury, Bird really, as a team defender, backed in, and Banks smartly picked him off so Corzine could get the shot off.
Leading scorers, Jordan for Chicago and McHale for Boston. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here at Boston Garden. Coming around a screen, Rick Carlisle in the game, stays with Jordan, misses, and here's Walton. Gets it into the hands of the right man, Seasting. So Carlisle's in the game. Rick Carlisle, 2nd year out of Virginia. Good perimeter shooter and a very smart player, although not fast. Wedman gets it into Wedman. To Walton, I should say, and a foul called against Mike Spreck. The Celtics do not have much speed in there right now.
Well, this is the fastest unit they have, Dick, to tell you the truth. Wedman at that forward spot has got more foot speed than Bird, who's about to re-enter the ball game. But this is what they count this team to be, a fast break unit. Bird's going to be in there replacing McHale. So that now is a pretty fast unit in there for the Celtics. As quick as they got it.
Fooled me. Bird. Double team.
Good
Gets it to Walton, and Walton is fouled.
Yeah,
that is a good foul. Michael Jordan commits the foul. One of the things the Bulls wanted to do was to take that foul early when it looked as if the Celtics were going to get an easy 2, and there's an example.
Well, when you double team Bird, you better cut off the guys cutting to the basket, and it was much too late developing.
Mike Spreck, the 7-foot rookie, goes out of the game, and Orlando Woolridge, who scored 8 points in the first period, comes back in. So Sidney Green, Orlando Woolridge.
Milwaukee ain't been to the playoffs in 8 years.
May pick up with
Wow, that's crazy.
Now with Sidney Green being the center and Woolridge at the wing.
Good shot.
Turn him loose.
It is a quicker team.
Yes, much.
He out there looking like shooting like old dude Shannon that played back in the day for Dallas.
Tremendous speed advantage.
That's one ugly jumper.
I love fast basketball players and fast break style of play. You get easy hoops.
But you got to practice it, and it has to be a way of life for a team.
That's what Stan Albeck said, Dick. That they just weren't together long enough to get it down. They started off fast breaking, but weren't able to continue it without Jordan.
Woolridge's shot misses, and Stan Albeck was looking for interference and a goaltend call.
Yeah, it might have been goaltending. I ain't even gonna lie.
Instead, the Celtics have the ball. We have a minute gone by in the second period, and it's a 6-point Chicago lead at 33-27. Walton guarded by Green. Green gives ground.
And Walton will take the shot. Sidney Green the rebound.
Just hit two of them from
Out
that
to
spot,
Gene
Walton.
Banks.
They say, Bill Walton, if you're going to kill us from out there, be my guest.
Wedman is on Banks. Banks goes up. Walton another rebound. Walton has 7 rebounds. Coming
Boston
off the
picking
bench
up their
today.
pace.
Carlisle guarded by Jordan. Bird guarded one-on-one with Woolridge. Wedman hits
Good
from
shot.
outside. Scott Wedman, who is a starter when Kevin McHale
down
was
4
out of
now.
action with his Achilles injury, had an 11-3 record as a starter with the Celtics.
That was great rotation defense that time by the Bulls with Michael Jordan, and yet Wedman, the quick shooter, still got an easy shot off.
Pick.
Kyle Macy,
Missed the screen.
Seasting hooked in. George Gervin gets off the bench. He'll come in for the first time in a moment. Green working against Walton goes in. Walton with another rebound, his 8th, and here's a 3-on-1 break for Boston.
Travel.
A traveling call against Rick Carlisle. You don't often see that from the men in white and green.
Rick Carlisle, what you out there doing, man?
And George Gervin will be coming into the ball game for the Chicago Bulls, who still lead, but now it's 4.
Put Kevin McHale back out there.
Take a look at the Western Conference first round, also best of 5. The Lakers lead 2-0. So does Houston. Dallas and Denver have 1-0 lead in their respective series. Utah plays Dallas tonight, and a couple of key performers. Mark Aguirre with back spasms is questionable for the Dallas Mavericks. Adrian Dantley will not play for the 2nd straight time for the Utah Jazz.
Well, I think Dantley is as important to his ball club as Aguirre is to his, so that might cancel each other out. But if either one of them is able to play, it's going to give his team a tremendous advantage.
Right in the middle there is number 8, George Gervin, who will be 34 years of age a week from today. 14th year, but his first with Chicago. Played, of course, at San Antonio. The 7th all-time leading scorer with over 26,500 points. All-time playoff scoring average is right behind Jerry West. So George Gervin, who's really had to make a traumatic adjustment going from San Antonio to Chicago, coming off the bench here.
George
Playing a
Gervin,
lot less
huh?
minutes, but he's always been great in the low post, and he's going to
I ain't hip to
have
him.
a young player against him, Rick Carlisle.
And they're going to isolate right now. The Chicago Bulls spreading out their offense, making the Celtics play individual defense, not the team variety. They get it into Gene Banks.
Oh, that
Banks
was
gets the
a good
basket.
lay.
That is the best of Gene Banks, under control.
We're going to look for more isolation plays, I think, here from the Bulls. Right now, Michael Jordan is on the bench, and we have an illegal defense call against Chicago.
They had 3 guys pass that imaginary line down the middle of the foul line lane. And it took them a while to call it illegal defense. Bird saw it.
9.5 minutes to go in the first half. Walton, baseline, loose ball, scrap, and the foul against
Is
Chicago.
that loose ball foul?
Dennis Johnson reports back in the game for the Celtics. And Rick
Come on,
Carlisle.
man. No more turnovers, man.
If the Bulls can get George Gervin going and get those ice fingers going, I mean, he turns to white heat when he's really firing away.
Shot 47%, the lowest of his career this season.
That's because of less minutes.
Walton banks it. Bird gets an easy 2.
Yeah, that was easy.
Larry Bird with his first points of the game, and it comes with 9 minutes and 12 seconds remaining in the first half, and the Chicago Bulls cling to that 4-point lead. They had it up to 11. The only lead Boston had was the first points of the game.
Without Jordan in the game, they've got to find a guy they can give the ball to and count on him to get him a couple of points.
Gervin going in. Crashing the boards, and a good play inside.
Good lay.
Sidney Green with his first basket.
He is really great at crashing the board if you don't block him out on a penetration move.
Bird over Woolridge.
Good shot.
Maybe getting hot now.
About to be the
Got a
Bird
layup.
show.
Maybe
About
that's
to light
all
up.
he needed. And now the outside shot, and it's a 4-point, 37-33 affair. John Paxson getting off the bench for the Chicago Bulls, coming in to replace Macy, perhaps. Banks finally fires it with 7 seconds on the shot, and Gene Banks with his second basket, and it's up to 6 once more.
They certainly were looking to
Back
get
in
it
the day, they
Gervin
didn't
that
really
time,
take
to the
that
point
many
where
three-point
Bird
shots.
fell off and gave Banks the shot.
Bird with 2 straight, misses that shot. Banks has the rebound, forcing the action. The Bulls running a lot more than they had They didn't run at all, really, in game one. Macy controlling, guarded by Seaston. Here's Woolridge. And in there is Sidney Green on the weak side. Jordan remains on the bench, shaking his head, and the Chicago Bulls have raised their lead to 8 with Jordan sitting.
Walton retreated to stop any kind of penetration, forgot about Sidney Green. You can't do that with Sidney Green. He'll kill you on the glass.
What y'all doing? Putting Kevin
Once
McHale
Sidney
in?
Green comes swooping in, Walton has got him, forgets where he is, going for the rebound himself, and there's Green, the great leaper, right behind him with more than an elbow of leaping ability above Walton.
John Paxson comes in the backcourt, and Robert Parrish is back for the Celtics. Parrish over the top commits the loose ball foul. Orlando Woolridge, who committed that last personal, was fouled by Parrish. Second foul on Parrish. So right now Chicago has John Paxson, almost a carbon copy of Kyle Macy, perhaps a little stronger and quicker.
He got a bad habit of bringing the ball down on the edge of the court instead of going up the middle.
Jordan still on the bench. Woolridge. Gervin tries to keep it alive.
Oh, there y'all go. No travel this time. What they call this time?
And a Chicago foul, and there's another good foul for Chicago because that was a 3-on-1 break for Boston.
And John Paxson against some big guys that were going to swoop in. I'm amazed.
That was a great foul. Good, but they get that 3-on-1 again. First one they had was travel.
Some solid points.
The late great Denny DJ.
The foul was on Banks.
Been talking about Sidney Green his head back into the game.
Coach gonna have him on
himself.
Suicide running all day.
Well, keep in mind he has tendonitis of the knee, and that may be a factor in this thing. And so they got some good moments from Green. We'll see when he comes back. That's the other side.
But the leaping ability that time didn't look like he was thinking about his tendonitis.
Didn't look like he was thinking about anything but winning this game.
That's right.
7 minutes to go in the first half. 41-34 in favor of Chicago. Gervin. Woolridge inside. Tried to draw the foul. He couldn't. Bird bodied him well. McHale comes down with the ball into the hands of Dennis Johnson. He tries to draw the foul.
Same thing.
Parrish sees Dennis Johnson open.
Bird.
Doesn't go that way. Bird. Pick and roll, decides to go strong.
That's too easy.
Well, they all just let him swoop through there, the Bulls.
Well, Bird already got 4 points.
And it's a 5-point Chicago lead with 6 minutes and 20 seconds to go in the first half, and a 22nd timeout called by Chicago.
A little fake pick and roll. That creates a little problem, but watch, they allow Bird to just swoop in. They never cut off his penetration. Corzine trying to maintain contact with McHale. Didn't get there quick enough.
You got to speak on how Robert Parrish sealed that, though. He sealed them defenders on the outside while Robert Parrish was underneath the rim.
6:20 to go in the first half, and the Chicago Bulls, who have led all the way except for the first points of the ball
play
game.
right there.
Speaking about a close game at the Spectrum in Philadelphia, the Washington Bullets are tied with the 76ers at 35. They're in the second period, and Washington leads 1-0 in that series.
Year.
Michael Jordan has been on the bench the last 4 minutes, and the Bulls have been
all
none the
day,
worse
every
for
day.
wear.
Produce some other offense. Let's see if they get to work Gervin a little bit.
Gervin against Parrish, and the Boston foul. It'll only be their second team foul. Jordan has played only 2 minutes this period. He scored all his 17 points in the opening 12.
Right.
And he is getting a lot of rest, but as long as the Bulls are playing the way they're playing, they can give Jordan some of that rest. Parrish commits his third personal foul.
Yeah, see?
Walton played considerably, and
players like Jordan don't like that.
So far.
Try to
Jordan don't want to
isolate
be on the
Gervin on
bench,
one
dude.
side, but Woolridge didn't get to it quick enough.
Ooh, hold on
Has a
now.
shot blocked. Banks picks it up. Whirling Dervish to Corzine.
Ooh, good shot.
Dave Corzine hits
Ooh,
from the
looking
corner.
better than
By the way,
Boston this
Woolridge
game.
has missed his last 6-7 shots now in the game, so he may not be the guy to go to.
He's taking some god-awful shots, Dick. The penetration, he should be kicking it out to guys like Corzine who can hit that outside shot. Use him as a decoy.
Yeah, Kevin McHale banging for that one.
Corzine, short.
Robert Parrish, check out, okay.
Bird tries to fake Gervin. Seaston, baseline.
Good shot.
That's why they acquired him from Indiana. Jerry Seaston, and it's 43-38 Chicago, and Michael Jordan will be coming back in the game in a moment, and Bill Walton for Boston. Paxson controlling with 13 on the shot clock. Banks. Rebound, Parrish.
Bird was nowhere to be seen on Banks.
That's too easy. And one. That's too easy. That's where they killing them at.
And Walton
Getting them
comes
down,
back for
beating them down the
Celtics,
court.
and Michael Jordan checks in for the Chicago Bulls.
If Boston do that
Push the ball
next
up the
third
court,
quarter,
good
it's going to
things
be a
happen.
huge turnaround.
Nice outlet pass. It gets up reasonably, and Seasting loves to fast break. Back to Dennis in the middle, and before the defense is even alert, the Celtics use the fourth man up the court. No defender there.
Jordan comes in replacing George Gervin, who I don't believe even attempted a shot in the time he was in there. Foul was on Corzine. A three-point play with 5 minutes to go cuts the Bulls' lead to 2.
Well, that's a terrible thing. A guy like George Gervin, with all the playoff experience and a great offensive ability, not to get a shot off while he's in there. He's a weapon.
Bird guarding Banks. Rainbow shot. Misses. Paxson,
Oh,
safety
bad
man,
pass.
intercepts.
Yeah, they trying to kill him with that
Banks.
outlet.
spin
Oh, good
move,
block.
Walton blocks it. And Walton's, or they said Banks stepped on the line. It's going to be
It was a block
Boston
anyway,
ball.
or a
So
jump
Bill
ball.
Walton playing a major role off the bench. And Sidney Green, who played 11
Yeah, they trying to
minutes,
kill the Bulls with that outlet.
coming back in the
As soon as they
ball
get the
game for
rebound.
Chicago.
Outlet.
And the crowd is
Somebody
up as
open.
the Celtics can tie.
Uh-oh. And
And they
one.
do. No.
Oh, it's on the floor.
Foul before the shot.
He was already in motion for the
really
shot.
having his problems offensively
Sidney
and
Green.
defensively. I think he's talking to himself and making this game much more difficult than it has to be. Taking some bad shots. Last time he had Walton in the low post. Whenever he thinks that's a mismatch in his favor, he got to go back to the scoring, back to the playbook, because there's no way he should be taking Bill Walton to the hoop in the low post.
Yeah.
Banks goes out. He scored 4 points, and
They
Larry
only got
Bird
5.
can tie the game. We have had 5 ties early on before Chicago
24
moved
points,
out in
9
front and
rebounds.
led by as many as 11.
6 points.
It's the first tie since we were knotted up at 10 apiece. 4:20
Tie game.
first half. Chicago led.
See, look, that's what the coach and the Bulls messed up at. They waited to put Michael Jordan in now.
Bird is on Green. Ball knocked away. It's still Chicago.
They waited to put Michael Jordan in.
Bird forced to guard Sidney Green. That might be a good matchup for the Bulls to go to. Let Green get in the low post.
McHale is guarding Woolridge, who's been ice cold. Jordan against Dennis Johnson. Jordan. Chicago.
See, they messed up. Them they had 19 points right now.
That's what the Celtics do so well. They pick on people. The Bulls are not picking on people here in the first half.
They don't have that many weapons, although if they go with a quick team, that may be their answer. Seasling
He's
misses.
too
Woolridge the
open,
rebound.
man. What's his name? Beasley?
Chicago does have a quickness edge on the Celtics generally down the roster.
Have not used it that effectively, other than to, quick steps like this from Michael Jordan.
Jordan going in, baseline,
Yeah,
defended
Bird
by
wasn't
Walton.
playing.
Out of bounds, Celtics ball.
Bird came
Jordan
across
shows
the
a little
whole
frustration.
court. Bird came across the whole court to get that block.
33-25 after one period. Bird is on Green. Ball knocked away. It's still Chicago.
Watch Bird come across the whole court to get that block.
Forced to guard,
Even though he
Sidney
didn't get
Green.
it,
That
that's
might
what he
be a
wasn't
good
playing. He
matchup
not on
for
that.
the Bulls to go to. Let Green get in the low post.
McHale is guarding Woolridge, who's been ice cold. Jordan against Dennis Johnson. Jordan.
Okay, it's gonna be the next time they come down.
43, 19 for Michael
When Beasley missed that wide open jumper.
That's what the Celtics do so well. They pick on people. The Bulls are not picking on people here in the first half.
They don't have that many weapons,
he's
although if
wide.
they go with a
Right
quick
at the
team, that may be
elbow.
their answer. Seasling misses. Woolridge the rebound. Chicago does have a quickness edge on the Celtics generally down the roster.
Have not used it.
So Bird
that
over there in his
effectively,
corner, making his way
other
up.
than to, quick steps like this from Michael Jordan.
Jordan going in.
see where he came
baseline,
from?
Defended by Walton. Out of
He wasn't
bounds,
going for
Celtics
that.
ball, and Jordan shows a little frustration. Dennis Johnson over Jordan. Sidney Green the rebound. 3:15 to go. Jordan inside to Woolridge.
Basket
Hey,
good and a foul.
tough and
And
one.
looked like
That was a
Celtics
good
play.
pass, MJ.
When he gets in the paint, remember, try and angle him off. He gets everybody looking because their concern is him, and he has become alert as
right there.
himself as a decoy for somebody to slip behind the defenders who have lost their attention.
And you
Woolridge
gotta
was
trust
smart
your
at
big
that
man.
time to get open.
Interestingly enough, Walton with the foul, his third. So the two Celtics centers, Parrish and Walton, each are burdened with 3 personal fouls right now.
And
Parrish
the
on
lead
the
starts
bench.
to get away.
48-43 in favor of Chicago, winding down to 3 minutes to go in the half. Danny Ainge will return, and Jerry Seasting goes out for the Celtics. And we'll have a timeout ourselves with just 1 second, less than 3 minutes to go in the half. Celtics inbounding, and Larry Bird. What's the story with Bird today? How are the Bulls playing?
Bird said that his prime function, he thought, was to really develop the inside game for the others and not to look for a shot. But the Bulls are also getting out there and challenging him on his outside shot.
McHale draws the foul.
Yeah, big McHale.
And looks like he hit his head.
Yeah, somebody elbowed him or something.
McHale scored all his 12 points in the first period. He has none this quarter. Larry Bird has all of his 11 this period.
Let's see what happens
Oh,
here.
there he
He
got
gets
11.
sandwiched, and somebody comes over, and actually what happened, it looked like he got a little whiplash or an elbow in the forehead.
I know Larry had
Dave
11.
Corzine commits his third foul.
Only counted like
Oakley and
6.
Corzine each with 3. So McHale trying to get the cobwebs out. Want to remind you that you're watching the second game of a best-of-5 first-round NBA playoff at Boston Garden. Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn here on CBS. The Boston Celtics with the best record in the league and a 41-1 record at the Garden this year.
They missing a
Trailing
lot of
right
free
now,
throws,
48-43,
Boston.
and 2:56
At
to go
home.
in the first half.
This is the court y'all
Foul
practice on.
story. Parrish and Walton, the two Celtics centers, have 3, and Oakley Corzine also 3.
And his eye is cut there, too, Dick.
Good shot.
That was a nice little elbow he got there.
Chicago had scored 5 in a row to break a 43-all tie before the free throw. 13 on the shot clock. Jordan inside to Woolridge, spins around, basket,
And
counts, and a
one.
foul. Great move by Orlando Woolridge, and keep in
And
mind
one.
he's had a knee problem and a sprained wrist, but he showed no effects of it there.
They
Played a little
cooking.
2-on-2 basketball, and that freed up Woolridge. He was Dennis Johnson ended up on him originally. McHale has been trying to guard him, but when you do stuff like that, the Celtics switch a lot. You got to look for the advantage on the mismatch. They finally got to it.
Foul was on McHale, his second. It's 50-44, 2.5 minutes to play in the opening half. Chicago leading, and they've led practically all the way in this first half. Bird banks.
Bird. Come on,
Tips out.
man.
Tipped in the air.
Good hustle.
Comes down to
Danny
8.
Ainge.
Walton. McHale in the corner.
Oh, my
Ainge
God.
scraps his way.
And the A's getting them boards.
And a new
Swing.
block. Bird inside to McHale. And the basket.
Tough.
Celtic passing
Y'all
at
work
its
for
very
it. Y'all
best,
work
and it's
for
a
it.
4-point Chicago lead. 2 minutes to go in the half.
Missing a lot of wide
You know, the
open
guard's
jumpers.
patience of the Celtics to find that good matchup is what really makes this team click.
Jordan controlling against Dennis Johnson, and they isolate him. Misses it all. Save
Oh,
though.
my.
Green. Jordan. And the rebound by Walton. The Bulls did everything but score on that sequence. Bird
Ooh.
tries that extra pass.
Travel.
Whistle. No basket, and a 3-second violation
Oh, 3
called
seconds.
against Boston. And even Stan Albeck's enjoying this first
This
half.
is first year coaching.
Danny Ainge
What they
makes
said at the
one
beginning of the
great
game.
steal here, goes up high. I mean, that's a great
Good tip.
athletic
Good hustle.
skill there to take it away from a bigger man.
4-point lead for Chicago. Sidney Green is up on high, setting a screen. Johnson trying to fight through it on a switch. Bird guards Jordan, and Jordan
Wow.
hits the jumper anyway.
That's
Michael
tough.
Jordan, 21 points.
That's tough.
And it's 52-46 Bulls. Looking inside to McHale, nothing doing.
Shoot
Corzine
that.
denying. Dennis Johnson misses a 3. Walton though. Jordan
Come on, man.
with under a minute to go, and the ball bouncing into the hands of the Bulls. Corzine
Inside to Paxson. Paxson gets the basket, and now the Chicago
They
Bulls have opened it
killing
up
Boston.
54-46, and they have been the strong
They about
team
to
down
be
the
up
stretch of this
10.
quarter.
They played good push-up basketball that time. Some of the Celtics big people didn't get back.
McHale, off balance, draws the foul. Stan Albeck made comments after game one that he got less of a break from the officials and that the Celtics were able to use mayhem, to say the least, inside. Of course, Casey Jones said, well, if they're playing a physical game, what do you expect? They should commit most of the fouls. In any event, Corzine has number 4.
Well, I used to be a coach. I used to use rhetoric like that, too. It's like a coach's book for coming into the Boston Garden on how to get the officials on your side. Not
Good
just
shot.
Garden,
Good
but
shot.
anytime you're on the
Tighten
road.
up.
Doesn't seem to help
Tighten up,
much
Boston.
Here, looking at the record of the Celtics this year, you can see the blood on the jersey of Kevin McHale from that cut left eye. Hits the free throws. Banks is in the ball game with 38 seconds to go. Chicago leading by 6. And they'll call the foul on Ainge. Second foul, but that will put the Celtics into the penalty. And so John Paxson will shoot 2.
That was kind of a chicken foul.
It's like every time they get right
Looked
there,
more like Paxson fell down.
They chip
and
down at
Ainge fouled.
that score.
Paxson, of course,
Get
comes
close.
from a great
Here come
bloodline
Bulls
of
coming to
basketball
peel away
people. Of
again.
course, he must have played against his dad
I certainly did. A great player.
with the Lakers and the Royals, and his brother, of course, Jim, is with the Portland Trailblazers.
They want this man here to shoot more. They want him to get that outside shot going. They feel he can push it up the floor better than even Kyle Mason.
34 seconds to go. 8-point lead for Chicago. Their biggest lead was 11. Ainge taking it
Ooh,
all the
good
way
take.
up. Bird tipping. Walton
Good
tips it in.
tip, Walton.
And Bill Walton with 6 points in the ball game and 13 rebounds has been the key center. Not
If I'm not
Parrish so
mistaken,
far.
Paxson ends up getting traded to Boston,
Celtics
doesn't he?
used some great
Drop some in the
stuff on
comments.
offensive boards on those fast breaks. That penetration by Danny Ainge that time, even though he missed it, he produced the 2 points for the team.
6 on the shot clock, so there's a 3-second differential. Jordan with a fake shot and draws the foul.
Yeah.
Dennis Johnson, beside himself with frustration after that, did not agree with it. That's his first personal foul.
When Michael Jordan beats you going to the right, you have to lean across him and bring your hand down, and that's when the official will normally call the foul.
Mike Tebow, who is one of the assistant coaches with Chicago, said about Jordan, he's got the jump shot ability of a Jerry West and the ability to go to the hoop of a Julius Erving. Pretty good people to be compared with.
I call him Mercury. You ever hold Mercury in your hand? He's all over the place.
Foul with 3 seconds to go, and now it's Michael Jordan who is complaining. There is Mike Tebow kneeling down. Actually, Tebow is not on the bench. He must be upstairs sending in plays from the top. The
From
foul.
the helicopter, huh?
Sidney Green gets called with his 3rd personal foul. Corzine has 4. Oakley and Green 3 for Chicago. Parrish and Walton each with 3 for Boston.
And the Bulls have played as well as they can play. And the Celtics really haven't
Very
gotten
good. All
their
those
game together
points
whatsoever.
at the
and
half.
the Celtics are still in it.
I mean, at the line.
Celtics are
All
rarely
free
out of
throw
it this
points.
early. I guess, though, in the one loss they experienced to Portland here, they were out of it early. That was a rout.
Right.
Oh, my.
1 out of 2,
2,
2 seconds to go.
1.
And then that shot will not count if it goes. Larry Bird had 12 all this period, but Michael Jordan has 23 points, and the Chicago Bulls, who need a win here, and that would make headlines in any event, any team beating the Celtics at Boston Garden, lead 58-51 at halftime.
Well, that was one crazy 2 quarters, y'all. I seen a lot of missed jumpers. I don't know. I talked a lot about people being able to shoot back in the day better than some of the people that can shoot in the league to this day. I'm kind of second guessing that. But this is my first game. I done watched the whole full game. We 55 minutes into this one. So this is the first half. We still got the second half to go. So, hey, let me know what y'all think about this video. Y'all want more videos like this? Shout out to the guy that told me to do some more reactions to Michael Jordan. Appreciate you, man. I can clearly see Michael Jordan definitely got some game on him. This is his first year in the league. Look like he done took his team to the playoffs. I know people talk about how he didn't have nobody to play with until he got Dennis Rodman, Scottie Pippen. Well, that was a lie. Them boys out there, them big man Woodruff, and the one young dude that just came to the league, whatever the case is, his name is. You got Paxson out there. They all out there getting buckets, and they banging in the paint. Like, they fighting for the rebound. They getting points, they getting N1s and all of that. They actually can play. They might not be all-star potential like Scottie Pippen and Dennis Rodman, but the people that he got on this team could play. But we're gonna go more down that rabbit hole. So appreciate everybody that's been here this far. Make sure y'all like the video. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, turn the notification bell on too. That way you don't miss part 2. And other than that, peace. See y'all.